Ah, ok. Vas-y.
Just me and then one on each.
Ja. Sans pas super bien chargé. Ceux-là, ouais, ceux-là j'ai changé, ouais. T'as le blanc, t'as le premier là. T'as le 1, ouais. T'as le numéro 1, ok. Tu peux démuter là. Voilà.
Yep.
Je vais les démuter.
So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Brussels. Welcome to Brussels for those who are here in the room. We have also some people joining online via Zoom and Facebook. So, also welcome to everyone who is online. My name is Philip Eastel, and we are with our organization, which is European Boating Industry. We are part of the Blue Generation project, and we had the honor, together with our partners, to organize this conference today. And I have the honor to moderate this for the next couple of hours. So this conference is part of the Blue Generation project, and we will hear a lot about it in the next couple of hours. So I don't want to go into detail on it, but what we are here to do today is to talk about the project, yes, but also talk about the general challenge that we have in the blue economy, which is about not enough young people coming into the industry, and at the same time, we don't have enough interesting jobs maybe. So that's what we want to discuss today, and young people don't really know about the blue economy. So this is what we've already done a lot in the last couple of years with a project to change, but even more is necessary. The more is necessary, that's what we're discussing today. What is the next step for the project? What is the next step for the blue economy policy of the European Union and of its member states, and what more needs to happen so we get the right people with the right skills into the blue economy? And recently, we had the honor of being at one of our members at the Beneteau Yard in France, and there we saw very, very specifically the challenge of not having enough people working there. They are hiring hundreds of people every year, so they are really struggling to get new people into the industry. So if we get more young people, we make an interesting career, we have a better blue economy at the end of it. This project has been very successful already. It won, I think, last year the EU for Ocean Award of the European Commission of DG Mare, and we have Andreas Strasinescu here as well this morning from DG Mare to talk more about this. So it's been a successful project, but now we want to go into the next steps and implement it further. So today is really about an opportunity to bring this learning experience into the project, but also to roll it out even further. I don't want to go into more detail on the content of this because it will present itself in the next couple of hours, but just a few housekeeping points. We want to make this as interactive as possible. So here in the room, we have a couple of microphones, and aptly named, we have Mike to be in charge of a mic. So he will run around with microphone. If you have any questions, please just briefly say who you are and who you represent, and then ask your question or your comment. We want to make this interactive. For the colleagues who are joining online, we also have a direct connection here to me. So if you have any questions, please post them in Zoom in the chat or post them in the comments on Facebook or on YouTube. And at the same time, we also have the coffee time and later also lunch networking. So make use of that time, get to know the project. Most of the people from the project are wearing a polo shirt that says Blue Generation Project. So you should recognize them, but otherwise we can always introduce you to more people. So make use of this time. That's as far as I want to leave it. If you want to have a look at the agenda, if you haven't seen it yet, just quickly scan this QR code and then you know what's going to happen in the next hours. But with that, we want to start with the opening. And the first speaker in the opening session is Mariana, who's a project manager at Militos Consulting, which is the coordinator of the project. So over to you, Mariana.
Thank you, Philip. I would like to welcome everybody here and our friends who are with us online. Thank you for coming over, and we'll be glad to share with you all the achievements and the challenges that we have faced for the last almost 5 years that Blue Generation is running with a wonderful team of partners from countries Greece, Spain, Portugal, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania, and expert partners from Belgium and Germany. So I would like to briefly guide you through our targets and our achievements and challenges. Our target was to inform and engage more than 40,000 young people all over these countries to Blue Generation employment opportunities. And we are proud to share with you that we have not only achieved our targets, but we have already overachieved them. We also involved more than 500 organizations and institutions who had the opportunity to build also their curricula and their guidelines for involving and guiding youth throughout the blue economy employment opportunities. One of our most important targets was to actually guide and attract youth in education, training, job search, and mobility schemes. So our number there was 14,000 young people. We have already been there. We are proud to share with you that this target has been achieved, and we are proud to tell you that throughout the project, of course, with the support and the funding of the EEA and Norway grants, the employment fund from EEA and Norway grants, we have the opportunity to create, deploy, and share with all our young people some digital and physical tools. And these are all the deliverables that are tangible and are sustainable. Which are these tools? First of all, they are innovative and they are quite close to what young people want to see and are capable to see. There are digital tools like a career guide that has been created from the beginning of the project and then has been also updated with new numbers that has all the KPIs from all the sectors of blue economy, namely coastal tourism, maritime transport, shipbuilding, fisheries, aquaculture, ocean energy, and marine biotechnology. So in this career guide, everybody can see very easily and very nicely information about the sector, about employment opportunities, and also with interviews for specific people who work on each sector. Another tool that we built is a job platform, digital job platform, where we connect employers from all sectors from all over Europe with employment opportunities, and where young people can upload their CVs and match all the demand with their work. Also, we have doing quite a good job with organizing our partnership. And why I'm saying that is because we create a family, we create a small network, a society that can be sustainable and can multiply the effect of our project. So we are also proud about that. And of course, we have made synergies with organizations, and we have created a memorandum of understandings and a network with organizations all over these 6 countries, with universities, with vet schools, with associations, professional associations who are involved in all this effort, and hopefully will be willing to join our federation, which is our next step after we complete our project. So our project has only 6 months to go. And what we want and we are willing to do is to make it sustainable and have a next step. The next step will be a federation, and Celia from CITIG will explain to you later in our conference about this opportunity. So once again, I would like to welcome you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Mariana. Very good to hear also about what will happen next after this. We are here in Brussels for a reason, not just because European boating industry is based here and we wanted to have a close walk to this venue, but also because, of course, this is the seat of the European Union, and we also want to very much get into the perspective of the European Commission, what is happening with this issue of the blue economy, getting young people involved, the issue of skills. This year is the European Year of Skills. This conference today is also one of the events of the European Year of Skills. So we want to bring the position of the European Commission here as well. And I'm very, very happy and very proud to have also with us now Andrea Strasinescu, who's the head of unit in DG Mare for Maritime Innovation, Marine Knowledge and Investment, to also say a few words. Over to you, Andrea.
Thank you very much, Philip. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me here. I'm really pleased, and because a project like this is looking to the future, and you are probably aware about the objectives that we have at the level of the European Union. Either it is about clean energy for the future, for which we know that by 2050 we'll need a double of electricity, out of which quarter needs to come from offshore. Decarbonization of shipping, but also looking at the sea at the source of food, sustainable food for the future. So we have big challenges in front of us, and we have to look how we are going to address them. We need, of course, technology, but in order to be competitive, we need skills, because we need also to develop Europe to be able to offer these solutions. We need also the people that are able to operate and to work on all of this. And if we look what is happening now, we see that we have a shortage of skills. Offshore industry is telling us that they have problems to recruit from managers to technicians. So how we can develop this? And I think it's important that a nice initiative like the Blue Generation, it's linked to other parts that what we are doing at European Union level. We have Blue Invest. In Blue Invest, probably you heard about, we are supporting SMEs and startups to bring to the market innovative solutions. So we see, I would say, the seed of innovation there and developing what they see as the solutions for the future. How we link the innovation with the skills, because these solutions, in fact, they have to be further replicated. So if there are projects coming through Blue Invest, if they are financing, they are financed, they are growing, how we are certain that the skills that are needed coming from these projects, we have them. We need also to work together and to bring initiatives. We have, and you are aware, the Mission Ocean within Horizon Europe. The Mission Ocean has 3 objectives looking at the decarbonization of the blue economy and development, sustainable development of this, but also looking at addressing pollution, preventing pollution, and also restoration of marine and freshwater ecosystems. There are 2 important enablers beyond the objectives that are in the Mission Ocean, which are, first of all, marine knowledge. So we need to know the water environment, we need the right data. We need to have all of this in order to see what is the impact of our activities and how we can develop the activity at sea. And then we need the involvement of citizens. Involvement for them, it's not only awareness, but participation. This is how the projects in the Mission Ocean are built. And these are linked also with the initiative on ocean literacy, on which we want not only to educate the pupils, but also to see how we can work up to academia. It's extremely important that the work in order to develop these skills, it's also bringing the academia and the most important, the industry. Quite often the academia, they are developing programs, but is the industry really interested, or is the really the industry, it's what the industry needs? So what I would like to mention is that we need to bring all these pieces together, because skills without developed by the university, without really the needs of industry, are not probably the skills that are going to be the ones that we need. Then we need for clear industry to tell us what they need. So in this picture, we need to work all together. I think that the initiative is extremely important. And what I would like to suggest is to see how we bring this to the next step. We have as well, through the European Maritime Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund, we are supporting projects on blue careers. Most of them are bottom-up. What is the need? We see that aquaculture is the one that it's popping as being the most important, looking at the projects that we financed. So we see that this is probably one of the sectors that it's extremely coming up. There are also the blue biotechnologies. We know very well that here there is a sector that is a huge importance in the same time with very interesting business perspective, because either there is food or pharmaceutical industry, there is a huge demand for technologies and for, I would say, even raw materials here. So how we bring all of this together? I think probably we need a certain mapping on what we have done in the the sector of skills and what we need for the future. But for this, we need, of course, to work with all of you. And I hope that this is the beginning, as there is the year of skills that was launched in May. We have 1 year in front of us to work this together, and maybe to come with interesting initiatives that even can be proposed for the next commission, because next year we are going to have another commission. And for sure that it's quite important that we are bringing things that are new, but also can make a change for the blue economy. So looking forward to hear to all of you today. Let's start working together, because I think we can build very interesting things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andrea. I take two, there's a lot of messages, but I take two key messages away. One is, if we have ocean literate young people who know about the environment, the marine environment, they are definitely also more interested to work in the blue economy. So that's something I think we have to take away. And the other message I take away is, let's make the blue economy a political priority, and let's make skills and careers in the blue economy a political priority as well. So thank you very much, Andrea. That was fascinating to hear, and we'll hear more from you later on in the panel discussion. In the next session now, so we go into the first proper session, we want to hear a bit more, what did the Blue Generation project actually develop? What have we been doing the last 5 years? And for this, we want to have it in a more of a pitching scenario. So we don't want to have too long presentations, but we want to be quick, and we want to hear what's really going on in the Blue Generation project. So we have three presenters, or four presenters on three topics. First on the job platform, the training courses, and then the VR videos and Blue Focus seminars. And we have four speakers for this. We don't know about this yet, but I would like them to be as quick as possible. So I will put a 5-minute timer on my phone. So please stick to those 5 minutes, and then we can be as quick as possible. I know there's two of you, so it will be even more difficult, but I'm sure you'll manage. And then afterwards, the speakers, please stay on stage. If there's some questions from online and from the audience, then we'll get them to you directly, and then you can have a few more minutes to respond to those. So the first speaker is Natalia Gonzalo from CTeach, who will talk about Blue Career Job Platform. So over to you. This is your clicker. This is your microphone.
So why don't you directly to?
Yep, you go that way. This one? The one on the right?
This one?
Yep. You click it, it should work. There you go.
Okay.
And I will start.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Natalia from CTeach, and I'm going to present this job platform. When Mariana was explaining something at the beginning, this job platform is a tool that connects with young people between 15 and 29 years old, and with employers and training organizations in the blue economy sector, specifically in these 7 subsectors, which are shipbuilding, fisheries, coastal tourism, aquaculture, marine biotechnology, ocean energy, and maritime transport. So how it works? So that's the beginning of the platform. So we said that this platform connect with young people. I think it's the next one. Sorry. What is, sorry, another, how it works, how the platform works. The platform offers jobs, training, and internship for these young people. So here you can see, for example, to go directly, these young people can access to the platform. They have first to register, and it's not only for young people, also for employers and training companies. So they go directly to register where they can add all the information, name, surname, email address, courses, all the experience that they have, for example, and then create, then they have to log in. That's the next slide, sorry. So we said that they have two options. One is job seeker, so it's these young people looking for some jobs, or employers, which is the other option, employers or training organizations. Okay, if you are a job seeker, you can click there, and if you're looking for a job, as we were explaining, you have these different sectors and categories that you can add all the information. For example, we put an example of a young people looking for a job in the nautical sector. So the user complete here, for example, the different categories. So he's looking for a job in the nautical sector as a mechanic, for example, in Spain. So he can complete all the details, and when he goes to search, he will see all the options of job opportunities that are at the moment available. And for example, imagine that he click in one of the jobs, so he can see mecánico naval, sorry, it's in Spanish, nautical mechanic in Spain. So he can see all the information of the company and the categories that he was choosing. The language, he can choose the language, of course, because in this case it's for Spanish, and the description of the job. If he likes this job, he wants to apply, he goes directly to apply for this job, and that's the next slide. Oh, sorry. It's not this one, sorry. Apply for this job. If he goes there, he can complete all the details for the job and also upload a CV, ask some question, for example, the salary, if it's a job, a seasonal job, yeah, for temporary, as at the salary, what requirements they need for this job. And also, because I was explaining that this is a platform for, in this case, for young people, for job seeker, but also for companies. So if a company wants to upload a job offer or a training course, they can do the same in the same platform, but in a different sector. So in this case, they will complete all the details of the companies, the requirement, for example, for a job, and they can post job, training, courses, or internships. Then in the same platform, we have the Blue Career Guide that Mariana was explaining. The Blue Career Guide is, yes, is an attractive and informative tool for young people to guide them for the careers and job opportunities in this in the blue economy sectors. Yeah. Oops. No more time. Oh, can I continue with quick? Okay.
Final point.
Okay, we have in the same platform the Blue Career Guide with the 7 sectors, which is very attractive for them. Blue Career courses that my colleague from El MEPA, Natalia, will explain later. We provide all the contacts for mentoring from all the partners, so they can contact by email or phone numbers. That's quick. News, where we upload all the activities, conferences, information for them. And numbers, which is something important when we want to share. The numbers that people who were, well, these young people registered and the companies. User registers in the BlueGeneration platform. We have 2,117. Then users that visited the platform since 2021, 54,589, which is a really nice number. Job training internship post since 2021 is 2,308, which is a lot. And total number of searches of these jobs, 3,132.
Thank you. Please, Natalia, if you could stay on the stage, just sit down, find a nice spot. Natalia, if you want to stay here, thank you. So we just about managed to go over 5 minutes, but the technical issues at the start will give you that. So we move on to the training courses from one Natalia to the other. So now we have Natalia Zanzaridi from Helmapper. So over to you. And when you're up here, Natalia, I will also start the 5-minute timer.
Thank you, Philip. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a pleasure to be here today, and I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizers for inviting me to speak about the deliverables of the Blue Generation project, and more specifically about the comprehensive training modules designed to cater to the needs of NEET individuals. These modules cover a wide range of topics, including blue skills development, entrepreneurship in the blue economy, and environmental stewardship. By providing them with these essential skills, we are paving the way for their successful integration into the workforce and fostering a new generation of passionate change makers. One of our notable achievements is the successful development of the Introduction into Shipping and Ocean Literacy courses. These courses provide comprehensive knowledge about shipping and foster ocean literacy, and have been uploaded onto a dedicated platform. Furthermore, the Introduction into Shipping course has been conducted in person at our premises in Athens, welcoming international students and mentors who sought to enhance their understanding and expertise in the field. The engagement and participation of these diverse individuals have greatly enriched the learning experience, creating a vibrant and collaborative environment. By bringing together aspiring maritime professionals from different countries, we fostered a cross-cultural exchange of ideas, perspectives, and experiences. This not only expanded the participants' knowledge base, but also promoted global cooperation and understanding within the Blue Generation community. We have delivered in person 2 additional programs in Greece, the Ship and Boat Assistant Carpenter and the Maritime Security Operator, and we are working on translating them and have them available online on the Blue Career platform in all 6 partner countries. The Ship and Boat Assistant Carpenter program aims to equip aspiring carpenters with the necessary skills and expertise in shipbuilding and maintenance. This course will contribute to nurturing a highly skilled workforce that supports the growth and sustainability of the maritime industry. Similarly, the Maritime Security Operator program will provide comprehensive training on essential aspects of maritime security. By preparing individuals to navigate and address security challenges within the blue economy, we are fostering secure and safe operations that are crucial for sustainable growth. In addition to these programs, 2 exciting courses are under development. Firstly, we have the Nautical English course, which aims to equip participants with essential English language skills specific to the maritime industry. Proficiency in English is vital for effective communication and collaboration within the global maritime community. This course will focus on developing language skills necessary for various aspects of maritime operations, including navigation, safety protocols, and effective intercultural communication. Secondly, we have the boat cleaning course, which provides comprehensive training on proper cleaning techniques, equipment handling, and best practices for maintaining cleanliness and hygiene on boats. Together with our esteemed partners and dedicated mentors, we are building a future where the blue generation flourishes, creating a sustainable and prosperous blue economy. Thank you very much.
If you can stay on stage as well, and congratulations, it hasn't run yet, so you managed to stay under the 5 minutes. Very well done. So now for the 47 seconds left. Very good. So we'll add those to you, shall we? To Carla and to our colleagues from Klube, Giampiero. So the next one will be about VR videos and Blue Focus, some quite innovative approaches that we have. So first, I think we have Carla Javier and then Giampiero Iacovelli from Klube in Portugal. So I will give you 6 minutes. So go, microphone.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, good morning. So I will ask you to the video because I think images are better than words sometimes, and because we don't have too much time. So I will present you a tool that we developed along this BlueGeneration project is the virtual reality video. So each partner created a virtual reality video talking about one of the different sectors of the blue economy with the objective of giving you an immersive experience. If you wear 3D glasses, you will have a wonderful
My name is Romana Santos.
I'm
I'm a
we are
marine
showing
biologist
you
and I'm
now
also
the video that Club produced. And this video has the objective of showcasing the work in the field of marine biotechnology. So, as you can see, it shows the daily routine of the research group on bioadhesion and biomimicry of the Faculty of Sciences of the University of Lisbon, led by Doutora Romana Santos, that is a Portuguese researcher and teacher. And this group starts today in Ericeira Beach, where they study sea urchins, namely the potential application of the glue they produce to attach themselves in the creation of bioadhesives for biomedical purposes, like, for instance, surgical adhesives and other uses. So they are collecting, and then they will get these marine organisms to the lab to study them and to evaluate their possibilities. In the video, you will find testimonies of students telling us how they decided to follow this career. So I invite you to go to the YouTube channel and to see this and other videos and to have this interesting experience. And then I will leave you with Giampiero.
Thank you. Good morning. And so in addition to, as you know, one of our objectives in BlueGeneration is to provide valuable and trustable information about the blue economy. And we do that by doing promotional visits locally, but also we recognize that the need to expand the reach of our informational content and ensure its accessibility in the future. So this led us to organize two webinar series, the Blue Talks and the Blue Focus. The Blue Talks webinars encompass a series of 7 in-depth webinars, each dedicated to a specific sector of the blue economy contemplated in the BlueGeneration project. These webinars extensively explore the foundational aspect of each sector, shedding light on the contemporary challenges faced by the blue economy. Furthermore, they highlight the diverse career opportunities available to young individuals who are already trained or are planning to be trained in one of these sectors. The Blue Talks serve as an educational platform, equipping young people with valuable insight and knowledge to navigate the world of the blue economy. Similarly, the Blue Focus webinars are shorter in length, but are more numerous in quantity. And during these webinars feature professional and experts from the diverse fields of the blue economy. And so we invite them to share their personal career journeys, and offering inspiration and guidance to young people who want to pursue a similar career path. They provide first-hand accounts of the challenges encountered, solutions employed, and best practices observed within their respective fields. The Blue Focus webinars serve as a valuable resource, empowering young individuals to make informed decisions and choose the most suitable paths for their careers in the blue economy. To date, our Blue Talks and Blue Focus webinars reached approximately 1,500 participants, but we only halfway. We are still creating such content, and of course we know in BlueGeneration that networking is key. So internally, these webinars helped us to broaden our network of external partners. That's it, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, and very well done for staying over time. And if you could both also now come on stage, because we do have a couple of minutes of questions. I think we'll start here in the room, if there are any questions here in the room, for our 4 fantastic speakers. And we have microphones, so if there are any questions here. No, but I think I saw one coming up on Zoom. I don't know if we can pull that up. Is that possible? No, we can't pull it up, but we do have one question. If you could say who you are, which organization, and what your question is.
So my name is Julian. I worked for the last year on developing a digital twin for San Lorenzo. It's a shipbuilding company in Italy. And I had a question for Natalia. So I really think that the career website is just amazing, but I was just wondering if you already put the different job offerings also on LinkedIn or Indeed or any other external website so people can reach easily the job offering. Thanks.
We don't know at the moment if we don't have the idea to share in okay, I think it's we didn't think in this possibility of sharing LinkedIn, but yeah, we can take the suggestion and see in the future we can share to reach more young people. Yeah, why not?
Very good ideas here in the room. Yes, we have one more question, Andrea.
Again, for you, this question. It's an initiative that came from the project, and I understood that there are 6 countries involved. How you are going to reach the rest of the countries, and how you are going to communicate more? Because I think it's important that this goes beyond the project.
I could take this one. Yeah, after the project finish, I think that we need to promote in our social media the platform, because the platform we continue is not the end of the platform. So the project finished, but we will continue with and I think that we can use our social media and promoting and keep these companies involved. This is something that we have to do, involve more companies to use our platform.
Sorry, maybe I can add something to that, because I will later speak about the federation, and we will carry on with the platform in form of the federation, yes.
So we have one question online, but we will actually take it, I think, for a panel discussion because it fits much better there. I just wanted to ask also Natalia here from Helmepa. So who were these kids or these young people going on the training course? Like, where were they from? Like, what was their background, basically?
Yeah, the background was diverse. They are international, as I said. They are from Romania, from Bulgaria, from Spain, from Portugal, and the background was from tourist management to shipbuilding. So it was quite a diverse crowd. And the most positive was that they were all aspiring young people who were very interested in the blue economy sector, and they found it very useful to be in contact with professionals from the maritime industry.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions here in the room? And otherwise, I would have kind of the same question to our colleagues from Kluber. Do you know a bit more like who joined the webinars, the Blue Focus, and who's watching the VR videos? Is it a lot of young people who really want to know more about the blue economy?
Yeah. Again, we have, I think, two kinds of attendees in the webinars. First, we have people who already are getting are involved in training or are studying, for example, marine biotechnology at university. So in a way, they already started a training in the field. But also we have a lot of youngsters from high school, for example, who still haven't decided yet what career path and study path to follow. So I think we help them in figuring out what's the best choice for them for the future. So I would say these two two categories of youngsters.
Perfect, thank you. And I think that's
Philip,
sorry, yes, please.
Hello, I'm Margot from the FameNet team, which is the European network for the ENFA fund. And attracting young people to different sectors is, of course, a very high priority also for our work. What we discovered in the member states is that in many countries, education in the marine sector is missing. And I was wondering if you have a kind of a mapping of what is existing already. Like, for example, I know in France, there is already a kind of an educational system where you can reach a diploma in marine sectors, and in other countries there is not. So I was wondering if you have a kind of an overview of what is already existing and what is still missing.
Does someone want to take that question, or?
Maybe I can answer that. You will see we've got this blueprint guide, which is laying out at the entrance, which you can take with you, where we did some mapping for the partner countries here, but we haven't done it for all of Europe so far. It just, yeah, in there you find it for our members so far.
Perfect, so it's a starting point. Thank you very much, Celia. And then maybe a round of applause for our 4 speakers for keeping in the time and for presenting some very, very interesting initiatives. Thank you very much. Yes, and now we move on. I can sit down, which is very nice. Now we move to the panel discussion part of our conference this morning before we go into the coffee break. And we have some very interesting speakers who I will ask on stage now. Please come here, make yourself comfortable, have some water, and then we'll kick off. So first, we already have met earlier, is Andreas Rasinescu from DG Mare. Then we have Monia Elfaziki from CE Europe. If you could find a spot here, no seating order wherever you want to sit. Then we have Stavros Kalognomos from the CPMR, the Conference of Marine and Peripheral Regions in Europe. Good morning. We haven't met yet, Stavros. Good morning. Then we have Nora Mason from the Financial Mechanism Office. You could argue that people paying the money for what we've been doing in the last 5 years. And then we already heard from her just now, Celia Teger from CTeach. So if we, yes. Good, even beforehand we have a round of applause. Maybe we can have one more microphone here so that we don't have to compete for the microphone. But anyway, we'll start over there. If you could just very, very quickly present your organization and also how are you connected to the blue economy as an organization. So we'll start with Celia over there and then we'll work our way back here.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much, Philip. And yeah, my name is Celia Teger. I'm from CTeach, and we are a nautical company in Mallorca. We have been sort of the source of this project. The idea for the Blue Generation project has come from the struggle we've seen of the sector finding young people. And we've seen it very much also in Mallorca, where we are based. And That's why we sort of initiated this project and thought we bring the two sectors together, the youth and the blue economy.
Thank you. If you could pass over the mic.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. My name is Nora Mesen, and I work as an international official representing Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. And these three countries have a funding mechanism called the EEA Norway Grants, which is a 1.5 billion mechanism that supports efforts to decrease social and economic inequalities across the EU. And under this mechanism, we have the Fund for Youth Employment, which is a 60.3 million fund that supports initiatives across a range of different sectors to promote quality youth employment. So BlueGeneration are one of these projects that we are very proud supporters of. So I'm personally not a blue economy expert. The panel is full of blue economy experts, but we work with the youth perspective on youth employment. But I think that there is some blue economy that came for free for me because I am Norwegian. So with my citizenship, maybe there is some competence there, just being raised in a blue economy, a big blue economy. Norway wouldn't be what we are today if it wasn't for the blue economy and our success there and the skills and the technologies that we have there. Yeah, I think I will stop there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the invitation. What we heard this morning was very interesting, and I'm sure that the rest of the day will be like this. So, I'm Stavros Kalognomos from the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions. So this is an association of some 150 regions from across Europe. I am personally in charge of the Balkan Black Sea Commission of the CPMR. So we are an association of regions that operates both as a think tank and a lobby for regions. We are structured on different different sea basins. So we cover the Baltic Sea, the North Sea, the Atlantic Arc, Inter-Mediterranean Commission, the Balkan Black Sea Commission, and the islands. So we're all over Europe, in fact. And we are an official interlocutor of the European institutions. We cooperate closely with the European Commission, DG Mare. We hold the secretariat support of the Syrica Intergroup, so the Seas, Rivers, Islands, and Coastal Areas Intergroup of the European Parliament. We do policies and we implement them through different EU-funded projects. So I'm here today, apart from our policy work, to share with you a bit about our project experience. We have two relevant Erasmus Plus projects on maritime education and training and soft skills for youth. And we're here to share with you what we have and see how we could also contribute to the capitalization of your project's results and explore future cooperation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Stavros. I think we could give you 45 minutes just to present what you're doing at CPMR, but that's fantastic. So thank you for being with us. So we go from the regions and the blue economy to the blue economy industry. So tell us about Sea Europe and yourself.
So good morning and thank you, Philip. So I'm Maria Fadziki and I'm the social and financial manager at Sea Europe. And Sea Europe is the European of Shipyards and Maritime Equipment Association. So we mainly represent the interests of the maritime technology sector at EU and international level. We represent mainly 300 shipyards and 22,000 maritime equipment. And within Sea Europe, I'm also leading the working group, the Human Capital Working Group, in which we discuss the main challenges that we have now in the sector. In fact, some months ago, we have redefined our priorities within the Human Capital Working Group, and we have identified attractiveness as the first priority. So this for us is really the main challenge that the sector is facing. And yes, but maybe we can talk about this later. So this,
fantastic. Thank you. Already human capital and attractiveness, that's some very, very good words. I like that. We already heard about who you are, Andrea, but maybe you want to give a bit more about how you connected to the blue economy.
Thank you very much. I'm head of unit responsible for research, innovation, and investment. So we work on the files that goes from education, ocean literacy, but also research, mission ocean, up to Blue Invest. So I think that the whole chain, I would say, starting from raising the attractiveness of the sector up to growing the sector to the Blue Invest, it's addressed. So this is what we are doing. And I think hearing the project today, I think there are a lot of things happening outside there. The idea is, as I mentioned, how we can replicate the best practices, because if something is done well, I think it's worth to be replicated.
Thank you, Andrea. So let's first go into what is the problem. So I would like to hear from Munir and Celia, because you're really working on the ground. Why is the industry, the blue economy industry, not interesting for young people? What are the key factors that we need to address in terms of careers, entrepreneurship? What is the issue? That's Munir, you have a mic, so
okay.
I'll pick on you.
So I can speak about shipbuilding. That is one of the sector within the blue economy. I think that shipbuilding is really suffering from a bad and old image perception. So youngster, when they think about, oh, I will go to work in shipyard, is difficult, dirty, dangerous, so they don't want to do it. While most of our shipyards nowadays are one of the most innovative industrial players. In fact, we are building the most high-tech vessels in the global market, the climate-friendly ships and the complex and green ships. And I think that there is also a lack of communication, so we really have to invest and to engage more in dissemination and raise awareness about the career part in shipbuilding, because shipbuilding is divided in different phases, no? So we start from the research, then we have the design, the construction, the maintenance and the repair phase. And so we really need different profiles. It's not just the low skills job, but we are really in need of pipe fitters, electricians, but at the same time also engineers, naval architects, designers. So that I think that we always, the youngsters have this bad perception in working in shipyards and like the low salary job, and it's not the case anymore, or at least for the most of shipyards. So these are mainly the challenges, and of course also the fact that we are also facing a very aging workforce. In fact, we foresee that in 10 years, the 40% of the workforce in shipbuilding will be retired. That's why now attractiveness and attract youngsters is one of the main priorities for us. But, yeah.
Thank you. So that's 40% of the workforce will retire within 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's really about almost the survival of the industry
exactly.
to get those young people. So thank you, Munir. Is it, you have a bit of a different view, Celia? Is it the same in the sectors that you know well and you saw in the project?
Yes, definitely. I think from our perspective, I mean, it's in shipbuilding as in most of the sectors, there's skilled personnel missing, and we've heard that this morning a few times, especially young people. Where we think the key factor is that young people are not aware of it. They are not aware of the possibilities of a blue economy. They are not getting informed enough. We've been in the project going into schools, talking to young people, showing them what are the possibilities. And I think that they have, at the moment, they still get mainly told about the classic career options. They go for administration, being carpenters. I mean, in Mallorca, we have this situation where the nautical sector is still dominated by foreigners, because the young people on our island, yeah, they rather be a carpenter, but they don't connect that you can also be a carpenter on a boat. They can work in a charter administration. They don't have to go into an office somewhere. tourism. We've had it many times in our presentations that Natalia, who does most of the presentations, asked what they want to do. They study tourism and are not aware that you can work on a cruise ship instead of in a hotel. It's simple things like that, which we find very often. Even people who live 10 kilometers away from the sea are not aware that they are having a connection to the maritime. It's that basic. They think they're more in the agricultural area. So there's a big need for awareness campaign, for information, for showing young people and teachers and the infrastructure that there's more opportunities. There's low-paid jobs, yes, but there's also high-paid jobs. There's career paths. We got to show that. And one key factor also we find is language. English. The fear of speaking English, the lack of English, because the maritime sector generally has English as a very strong part of its communication. Okay, maybe not in every shipyard, that might be a different way, but in general, English is a very important part and a factor which hinders young people to enter.
Thank you, Sia. And please, all the other panelists, just jump in if you have something to say. We want to make this interactive. But maybe we can get the three of you in right now. So we hear, how do we solve basically Monir's problem of getting 40% new people? How many people work in your industry in general? Mic up.
1 million people in
1 million
Europe,
people.
in the European maritime region. Yeah.
Further away. So
direct and indirect job, of course.
So 400,000 people basically have to be found in the next 10 years. So how do we solve this problem? Yeah, Stavros, please jump in. I think you have to hold the mic a bit.
From our perspective, what we see is that, first of all, we have, or part of the problem is the legislative framework, education, and also the access to funds. I explain myself. For instance, because maritime sector and life on board is different from cruise ships to fishing vessels. For fishing vessels, for instance, there are no toilets for women. This affects the quality of life on board. So that means that women, and this is because of space on the vessel. So women cannot, or they don't feel that comfortable to work on a fishing vessel together with their male colleagues. This is a very basic thing to consider. Then access to funds. When it comes to fishing again, it's the most challenging sector for us and for our member regions. What we see is that the lack of multi-annual quotas does not allow young fishermen to have visibility to forecast their income in the next 3 or 4 years. That means that you cannot invest in something if you just know that this year you'll have this quota, fishing quota. So it's also not encouraging this kind of work on a fishing vessel. And then education. When it comes to renewable energies, for instance, the different technologies develop and evolve that quickly that the curricula at the universities do not correspond to the needs of the market. And this is why we need also projects as yours to make the link and bridge the gap between the education and the training institutions and the needs of the market. Because we have young professionals, but the market needs more and more updated skills and upscaled skills. So we also need to consider it.
So it's about bridging the gap between the different players in this ecosystem. I apologize for the audio issues. Maybe if we hold our mics further away a bit, that might help a bit. But Nora, what is your feeling? What do we need to do or change?
Well, I think that there are youth is a very diverse group of people, so it depends on who you want to reach as well. I think that a lot of youth view the blue economy as, or blue educations as high risk they are not sure if I invest in this education, will it still be relevant when I'm finished, since developments are so fast in this industry? Will I get the opportunity to be upskilled and reskilled and to actually be in this industry for my entire career? There are also challenges when it comes to decent work conditions in the industry, in parts of the industry. And youth are particularly vulnerable for the lack of decent work conditions, and they are also underrepresented in trade unions. So they have a limited possibility to influence the development of the blue economy because of this. The last point I want to mention is that you brought up as well, the blue economy is one of the most gender segregated industries that there are. How are you supposed to recruit female talents if you can't offer them a restroom? Just as a basic issue as that. And with that, we lose so much talent. And I don't think that we can't afford to lose this talent. We need qualified employees, and we can't expect the blue economy to attract talents from a diverse group of youth if it is not prepared to take these employees into their labor places.
I think those are some really interesting, important points. It's about actually building better ships and better boats so that people actually feel happy to work on them. And we know that the young generation, they expect a lot more from their job, from their career. They're not happy to take anything for no money, so they want a lot more. So we have to adapt to this in the blue economy. And Andrea, maybe from your commission side, what do you see on this sort of macro level?
Most of the elements have been mentioned. So we need education that needs to start, I would say, with the youngest age. Through ocean literacy, we build in Europe a network of blue schools. I don't know if the blue schools exist in all the European countries. Blue economy, nevertheless, and the influence that ocean seas have on our lives should be learned in schools all across Europe. Education, it's a national prerogative. We are offering the tools, and then, of course, through communication, we encourage at national level that engagement is for the education part. So starting from the young age, we are offering also various tools. We have the European Atlas of the Seas that can be used by teachers all across Europe to raise the awareness and the interest of the young people. Now, if I'm hearing that in 10 years we need 400,000 people for the shipbuilding industry, that means we have even to go to work beyond, I would say this. We need to work with universities. We need to link more with the needs of the industry. It's a matter of attractiveness, because we heard low salaries, probably, of course, away from home, but also probably it is the pay. I mean, there are offshore platforms for oil and gas. They have people on this. So how we build the attractiveness of the blue economy and showing that has strong perspective into the future, because like this, for them, it will be, I would say, the fact that they will feel secure going towards an industry that is going to grow. So through the policies that we are developing, this is what we want to do, to grow the blue economy and to show that has a sustainable but also a growing importance into the future. All of these are to be worked, and if, as I said, we work together, we can go and probably be able to develop this. I mentioned earlier Blue Invest. If you are coming to our event, we have the annual one in Brussels in March, and you will hear the pitching startups and SMEs, you'll see a lot of young people. So there is the interest when there is, I would say, a market potential. So we need as much as possible to work and to link, to show, I would say, the attractiveness and the fact that the capital is to be invested in this economy and to grow. So on this we try, of course, to work, and hopefully in 10 years we'll have more people that are going to be attracted and gaps to be filled. There is a competition, IT skills, engineers that can be used by other sectors. So if we do not build this attractiveness and we communicate about this, we'll have a problem. So I think that the most important is to work on this.
Thank you. I think that's really important. Attractiveness is the key word that we have to take. But I would like to take up a bit what you said, Andrea, about the oil fields and the gas fields, maybe in the North Sea, and also the question we had from online, which is how do we make sure that young people don't go into the unsustainable or less sustainable parts of the blue economy? So I would like to take the question, and anyone can take it. How do we kind of bridge this gap between the traditional sectors, like, for example, fishing, shipping? We heard already about this. And bring them into the young people also, or even the people already in the industry, into the emerging sectors of the blue economy, like renewable energy, agriculture, marine biotechnology. So it's about retraining, I guess, but who wants to take this?
I can start.
You've got a microphone, you might as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm equipped, this is working. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think the main thing is really we need to work on the image. Obviously, basics have to be improved. If it's a problem of toilets missing on a ship, that is not about the image, that's about the facts that need to be changed. But generally, I think the image has to be changed. And I think we need to stand up as a blue economy as a whole, where we're bringing together all the sectors and joining them together, which we would like to do, and show young people the different options, and that you can also move within the subsectors of the blue economy, and that there are pathways, career pathways, which you can take from one part to the other. If you've been working on oil and gas, you can come onshore and work at universities or work in shipyards, or there's lots of movements, like a skipper who's working with tourists might as well next work and ship her out to wind farms, things like that. I mean, there are lots of bridges that can be built, which we should be making much more aware of, and showing how people can go from offshore jobs to onshore jobs using their skills and also their soft skills, which they're learning all along whilst working in the blue economy.
Thank you. Who wants to add that to this? And I think there's a question coming out of what Silvia said. Should we be more about advocating a career in the blue economy, not a career in shipbuilding, a career in shipbuilding and shipping and so on? So that to say, if you start in the blue economy when you're 20 or 25, this doesn't mean you will be in this one part of the sector for your entire life, but that you will have other opportunities afterwards. Could that be the approach? I don't know who wants to take this.
Well, I can add, I see a lot of natural synergies between the two types in the industries. And one common challenge is that they both need to be sustainable. A lot of the technology that was developed in the traditional industries is an important basis for the emerging industries and vice versa. I think that a lot of youth, they don't only want a stable job with a high income or a good income, they also want purpose. So not only asking about what can the ocean do for me, but what can I do for the ocean? So greening these industries across both of them is a huge challenge, and for youth to know that I can actually be a part of the solution, I think is very motivating, and it kind of breaks up this split between the two types of industries.
I don't know, does someone want to add something here? I think maybe on the sustainability front, I think this is an interesting example, and I shouldn't have sent you the questions beforehand because you were taking my questions already, but we know that for young people, of course, they want to go into an industry which they know will exist in 50 years' time, but also that is sustainable, they're doing something good, and they're sort of investing themselves into something they believe is positive. And we have an example, for example, we have a boat show in Düsseldorf, which is huge for our industry. And I talked to some CEOs from a company, a boat yard in France. And this is somewhere in the Bretagne. And normally they fly all of their employees to Düsseldorf and then do the show for 9 days. But in fact, the younger employees specifically said, have we lost microphone? Okay, I would just talk very loud, at least everyone in the room is here listening. And we'll sort it out afterwards. We might have to redo this later on or something. So please remember. So the young people said, we don't want to fly, we want to take the bus. It's more sustainable, or we want to take the train. So clearly there's a very, very huge change in the mindset of young people. Is this something that you're also seeing in various parts of the economy that you are engaging with?
In fact, yeah. When it comes to regional authorities and those that face issues such as brain drain, they need to provide solutions to keep youngsters on site, or at least to bring income to the region. So they have to make it more appealing, to make blue economy jobs more appealing, to show that it's not, because in the past the mentality was that if you have to be a seafarer, it means that you fail to do something else. So you have to be on board because you didn't make it elsewhere. So if you have more, first of all, again, the legislative framework, so something that pays you better, something that shows you that you'll have an involvement, you won't be stable, and then make you feel that indeed you contribute to something. So if, for instance, states or regions, the next 5 or 10 years, we want to be to reach this goal, and we can encourage and inspire youngsters to contribute to this goal, then we can have them on our side.
Munia, anything to add from your side?
Yes, of course, because shipbuilding and ships in general are seen like the most polluters, of course, in the sea. But now our sector, maritime technology sector, is very committed and is really engaged in the climate change and in building zero emission waterborne transport, and it's something that we, as Celia also mentioned before, is the lack of communication, is lack of awareness that youngsters maybe do not know the fact that we are now really engaged and committing in the climate change and also in the economic growth for the future generation also. So it's this lack of communication that also the companies should improve, and they recognize it. So also the fact, and the BlueGeneration project is really useful in this, because they are going to high school and presenting the career path and the career opportunities and how the sector changed through the years. So yeah.
So now when, for example, your shipyards are advertising, do they show already this pathway to greening? Is it something they are showing?
That's what means in comparison with other sectors. I don't know, maybe aviation or automotive, you know, they are more, there's this sex appeal, is more...
we need to shout a lot
yeah.
more, don't we? Yeah.
Exactly. And it's something that we miss in shipbuilding, because we still have this very bad image, again, about the polluters, while now we are, as I also mentioned before, we are building the most high-tech and greening vessels and ships right now. So,
absolutely, yeah. Thank you. And Andrea, I mean, obviously the European Green Deal and many parts of it are really moving forward sustainability of aviation, maritime, and many sectors and all sectors in Europe, in fact. To what extent is skills and career part of this sort of big European Green Deal debate here in Brussels?
I mean, skills are important. As I said, I mean, the European Year of Skills started in May. Now it's how we are concretely putting this in practice. I think there is a need of more collaboration between industry and academia, because if we want the skills that we need, the industry has to go and to speak to academia. They have to mention, okay, what do I need, and then to present, to work on this attractiveness of the sector. So this is something that we encourage to do, because we go at universities and we see, okay, there are projects that are developed, there are some funds that are attracted, then the project ends. Okay, does anybody need a project? The industry is aware how I'm building this, how I'm building competencies. I think here there is a gap that we need to cross. We need to go to build this workforce, I would say, for the future. So and also we need probably, I would say, more collaboration and best practices sharing among the countries that are advanced, they have very good practices on this, and to the ones that they have to learn. So it's about capacity building also at the European Union level. Portugal probably it's one of the countries that is doing well because they have a strong blue economy sector. But how they are doing this, how they can be replicated elsewhere. So I think there is a need for collaboration, I would say, of the chain, but also among the countries in order to be able to advance. As long as we stay with isolated example and we are preaching to the ones that are convinced, I think we cannot grow.
Thank you very much. We have a couple of questions online and one in the audience, so we'll go here to Mariana, please.
Thank you. I have a point to add here regarding connecting blue economy and sustainability. In the frame of the project, Helmepa, who is running courses and attracting young people in schools and high schools and elementary schools, they're pointing out the connection between blue economy and sustainability, maritime literacy, and what they try is also to introduce a lesson in public schools, in public elementary schools, with the training material that we have produced in our project. So this may attract also the young generation from their beginning of contemplating their career in blue economy without even trying to specify a sector, which was one of the questions. And they will be guided towards the more sustainable sectors if they need more personnel there. If we try to connect young people from schools in the beginning of their transitioning to their career. That's my point.
Thank you, Mariana. Any other questions here in the room? Otherwise, we have a question from online, which was sent to me, and I've read here on my watch, which is about what soft skills will young people have to develop to work in the blue economy? We already heard language. We need to talk English, basically. It's international. You need to talk the language. What other soft skills do we need? Stavros, you're jumping at this, please.
Maybe because it's also our project, so the innovative soft skills to maritime education and training. This was an Erasmus Plus, it still is, will end in August, an Erasmus Plus funded project. So led by the University of the Aegean in Greece and with our dear partners from Romania, from Bulgaria, Turkey and Poland. So maritime universities from these countries and the CPMR and the consultancy agency in Greece. So what we found out is because for life on board, there is a very strong hierarchy that sometimes make it not appealing at all to youngsters to go and work on board. So communication is one. They need to learn how to communicate with their superiors, with their colleagues of the same level and inferiors, how they can resolve crisis on board when we are speaking about overseas travels, how they can, because nowadays, okay, there is Wi-Fi on board, so they are more connected to their families. In the past, it wasn't the case. This is both positive and negative, because in the past, they used to ignore the situation at home. Now they're whenever aware of what's going on, so they feel stressed, and they cannot know how to help their families back home, and how they can, let's say, sort out any kind of conflicts on board. So communicating, efficient communicating with your captain and with your colleagues is a very strong asset of soft skills. And communication is transversal, not only for the life on board, but everywhere. And I see it also with my CPMR colleagues that I learned a lot from this blue soft skills project, and how I implement what I learned in my daily life. So this is number one. Then, of course, when we are working on board again, we have to deal with colleagues that have a different cultural and disciplinary background. So we need to take it into consideration as well, because, okay, we focus on the EU and on European citizens, but most of the crews come from Asian countries, for instance. So we have to deal with this as well. Or the disciplinary. Okay, when it comes for the life on board, it's again what is the background of them, what is the education they have, and so on. So communication first, and we see that it was also high ranked by the students that participated in this project. We also used assessment tests to create an assessment center. So we use them as a tool for developing soft skills. And we also work with this project, and we'll share with you the results, and when we are ready, also the final brochure, to create educational material for naval academies as well, for maritime universities, and we also have in our board of experts representatives from the industries, from shipping agencies and other industries and companies in the field, so that we bridge the gap. But we start with this, and then also English is language barrier is also important, but still, when you enter the industry, you know that this is the language that you'll use, so you get used to it, you adapt yourself. When it comes to fishing, then it's more complicated, because it's at a smaller scale. We have to deal with the differences at EU level between the EU member countries. So it's communication, and then we go on with the others.
Thank you, Stavros. That's fascinating. We clearly have to connect your project a lot with what we're doing in Blue Generation. Norway, you see a lot of projects, a lot of different fields in the blue economy and outside. What is your perspective on this soft skills question?
What came to mind while you were talking now was that a lot of these workplaces are very diverse, and that is an asset. It can be a challenge, but it is also an asset. So one soft skill is to create more inclusive workplaces that are not only we talk a lot about ocean literacy, but they should also be youth literate, the workplaces, and equality literate, the workplaces. And this requires perception of diversity being a resource and not a challenge.
That's interesting. Thank you. Does anyone have something to add on this one?
Generally on soft skills, I think that's also one point how we can advertise the blue economy much better, because in whichever subsector of the blue economy you're working, you will work most often in teams, you will have communication skills, and it also helps you to open your career pathways and your future of the things you learn. And as long as we make it clear that people do get these skills whilst working in the blue economy, that might help the attractiveness of the whole sector, because it opens up doors for the future.
It does, absolutely. Thank you. We have one last question. Please tell me it's a question, Mariana.
It's not a question, it's like adding something else as well. In Blue Generation, we have identified the need of the soft skills in blue economy. So we are now designing a Blue Accelerator program, a soft skills accelerator, which will exactly train people individually for the specific soft skills that are needed in the blue economy. So thank you for the question from the audience as well.
Thank you. And I'm sure there's a lot more to discuss now in the coffee break and later over lunch as well. You've been very kind in answering my question, and there's one that I didn't send you beforehand. I think all of us, when we think back when we were younger and we think, this was my dream job when I was younger. I would have become a carpenter, or I don't know, something different. So if I would have to ask the five of you, if you would now sort of think back and you heard all about the blue economy, the different opportunities, what is the one job in the blue economy that you would have liked or you would like to now take up? What would you love to do? Who wants to go first? All of you have to respond. Stavros, come on, Stavros, you seem ready.
Okay, so because I come from a maritime family, my father is a captain, my grandfather was an engineer. And why I didn't choose to become a seafarer? First of all, safety. So, at the international level, this was one. Then it was also about communication with home, because back then it was very challenging. Now at least it's much easier. About the income, I know that for seafarers, when they are on shore, they don't get paid. So you make money, let's say, it's not easy money because you have to work 24/7 for months or for over a year sometimes. But then when you are on shore, you're not paid. So I wasn't that attracted. Since I had lived it in my family, I said, okay, I prefer to do something maritime for sure, but from the safety of home, so.
And what would you choose now?
Something maritime again, yes. But on shore.
Yeah, not here in Brussels, real maritime.
In Brussels.
A real maritime, a real job.
A real job, maritime.
Not the stuff we do sitting in an office.
Short sea shipping.
Short sea shipping, okay, yeah. Perfect. Who wants to go next? Celia.
Yes, I'm coming from a background which is not maritime, and I came into the nautical sector through Mike, which was completely new to me. And you say a real job, but yeah, it is a real job. I love my job.
You have a real job.
I have a real job. I have a sea school, and I'm working on the projects, and I think that is something which we can show young people as well. It doesn't mean you have to, if you go into the blue economy, you have to be a fisherman. There are other jobs like developing education, like we are doing, and you can follow your convictions and work in that as you see fit, and work on ocean literacy or sustainability and develop it further. I think that is an opportunity in the blue economy as well.
Thank you. Norway, if you would have, or if you live in Norway, but what would you do in Norway in the blue economy?
Well, I have a background from legal and equality affairs. So I think that there are a lot of opportunities in the blue economy for this as well. I think I would mainly work although with more awareness raising issues, and to try to make the blue economy a more fair and decent and inclusive workplace.
More than just installing a couple of toilets, right?
Right.
Even though we start there, okay. Okay, Munir, you work here in Brussels like I do.
Yeah.
So would you work for one of your shipyards?
Maybe in a cruise ship.
In a cruise ship? Huh?
Yes.
Very good.
There's different activities. You see many people's families, and I think it will be a very dynamic work. So I think a cruise ship. Yeah.
Good idea. Please.
Because we said about how to make the industry more attractive, but even if it's more attractive to EU citizens, they tend to move within the EU, to go to Western European countries. That means that Eastern European countries need to import workforce from outside the EU. So how could we make it more attractive, but also to remain in our countries and work in a shipyard without need to move to Western Europe for better salaries? Because it's
an important point, yeah. Migration within Europe and from outside of Europe, it's an important point, which we will have to discuss over coffee. But I don't want to let Andrea get away from this. If you were not here in the Commission, very close by in DG Mare, what is the job you would love to do in the blue economy?
I think blue biotechnologies. It's a lot to be discovered. It's a lot to be created, and not the less important, it's quite well paid. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's a very good point to end on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the panelists. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Please grab him now of a coffee. Now we have a coffee break of 15 minutes. Discuss a bit more. We meet back here in 50 minutes. So that's at 10 to. 10 to we meet again, also online, and then hopefully we'll sort of technical issues, and then we'll continue. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it seems so.
My name is Simon. I'm Bajan. Nobody's perfect. I wanted to say hello to all of you, the three of you. I wanted to make sure I can connect because we have a quite ambitious project in internal waterways in Belgium on hydrogen, involving, of course, the waterways. And I was thinking how to benefit from the mission vision of the blue economy to implement it in our project. It's a private project, private funding, and I would like to tap into the fantastic knowledge of both you and for the team, so I need to understand who to contact. Maybe you.
For the project, we can talk, but also I can pass you on to the coordinators, like Julia here, also one of the coordinators of projects.
So you have contact with everybody, especially the person who has the contacts with all the shipyards, because this is also part of the project. Yeah. And it would be a pleasure to see how we can inform you what we do and see if this makes sense for you to be involved in the development of the research first, because what I learned today is fantastic.
C'est parfois ils ont envie de leur mettre. Ah bah voilà.
No problem, but I guess through your fantastic team.
No. If you want to give me a job, that's fine.
You can see
So I will send you an email in the coming days when the community service and the advice of Mr. Garcia. We put private funding capacity for projects initially very nice green line from the funders to look at Europe. And we will start looking at Belgium, at Wallonia, and then maybe a very interesting get together in terms of thinking what we do for the economy with its internal workers. So I hope this is
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, fine. We probably had some lexicographic because it's a new one. Yes, thank you very much.
What happens now? We lost connection online or?
Online, everything, recording as well.
Because I think I have a project on the platform.
The battery connecting microphones to speakers, it was like change battery again.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear about that. Yeah. The recording is the sound of people.
Yes. I will give you my private card out of courtesy and transparency, but then I will make sure this is my private card, this is my opportunity, because I'm also involved in other things, so you have my full name. I'm often in the networks of the European Institute to understand how it works and work with people. They're fantastic people, but we need to get to them and then listen and then see how we can tap into their vision. If you have that vision, the Green Deal is there, the funding is there. So how do we adapt? Our funding is private, so it's a private project. I want to make sure that what we do is adapted to the governance as your concept. So I want some guidance and strict guidance. Otherwise, we will be. Well, we have a quite interesting individual who's a musician who became, for a number of reasons, because of family reasons, someone involved in working with internal maritime road boats. So, and he's doing very well. But it's a startup. So we met him through one of our partners who's involved in agriculture in Africa with us. And we said, well, with the quality of the person, let's see what we can do with his vision on greening Wallonia and connect the hydrogen capacity of transportation from this. So we qualified the project to the funders and they said, yes, let's go. So now we're working on a business plan. It will be produced locally with water. I don't know what the formula is, it's all on the NCNDA. So it's there and guiding everybody to create a team, and I want you to be involved, to meet the person this time. But before that, I need to actually send you an email from Dignity Service, who is the company based in Brussels, accompanying the startup and making his dream possible. And creating employment. Oh, thank you very much. Very professional. So, Monia, you're based in Brussels as well? And you're from which? Yeah, thank you very much. I was born in Italy. I was born in Italy. You're Italian. But I am Moroccan origin. Okay, fantastic. And then Philippe is based in So thank you very much. I asked you that, I'm not going to be a city time, yeah? And then you said this project, but I should, yeah, you're right. Because and sponsor are active partners in the session, so like and yeah. Artificial intelligence training, employment, Europe just we finally welcomed our Belgian member into Europe. We didn't have a Belgian member. Yeah, because that was the idea. I don't know whether you will see from over also one of these different guys. Yeah. This is where we call it partner and replicate how to replicate our work. So this was the last conference in touch with you at the origin of the event. I will give you my private card and the advice of Mr. Telezon Garcia, who is the CEO of Dignity Service. And we are now funding projects also in Europe, private projects. So we have a project connected to your economy, and of course it will involve training and education. So I will keep you informed because there may be links between the when you manage all the contacts you have here in Mallorca. It's always interesting to meet people. Thank you very much. And now you're already on holiday because it's good Okay. And you're Norwegian?
I'm from the UK. I'm English. Steve's from Hamburg.
And Belgium, what is that? So just to understand, this is a project you are managing.
The Blue Generation. That is the Sicilian Road. Yeah, redesigned it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, the main contact person is you. If you have any questions related to why, how, and future, what, you can
yeah, definitely. We are working together. We're also husband and wife, Steve, so we're very connected. We've been together, working together for nearly 20 years. He would have, if he could have. He would have done. I would have, but there's too many stupid people.
I need to go to another meeting with other people. I hope we'll be back later.
All right.
So thank you, madam.
See you later. It's good to meet you. Thank you.
Okay, but I'm back to contact with you.
The last presentation, you have my.
Is that okay so far?
Very good.
Yeah?
Very good. All went very well. And few hiccups with the sound, but I think. Because there's a little laptop down the corner, and that was still running. So I think the only problem was with this.
Yeah,
but it was good. The panel, the discussion, all very good, very clear. Nice. Well done.
Now we finish it. Well, 2 minutes.
Did you get a coffee?
Yeah, I got a coffee.
I just quickly grab one. Thank you very much, Greg.
Je vais regarder s'il y a besoin de DG, moi, vous avez changé.
Il y a des lignes, je vois qu'il y a des lignes, mais maintenant, c'est cool. C'est installé. Je vais rester à part. Le collègue qui a fait cet Instagram, il a encore plus. Si, c'est un monto qui a fait ça. Un mec, il est bien, c'est un mec qui a donné des trucs, machin. Il est parti, ils sont pas contre du terrain. Il y a plein de trucs, c'est un peu plus facile au sol. Au sol, ils sont sur la vôtre, tu vois, il est pas sur le terrain. J'ai vu des news, un petit boîtier alimenté électron. Pas changer de pile dans un boîtier.
I was at the end, I will try to summarize it. What are the key messages that what you want to do? The parts that already worked on it. Continue, replicate, human capital, attractiveness, whatever key messages you need to. So, welcome back, everyone. I suggest we continue. Let's wait 1 second until everyone comes back into the room. I hope the coffee has given you time to network and time to get a boost for the next couple of sessions before we go into lunch. As you, I hope, have heard in the last couple of hours, the project and what we want to do is really about being on the ground, working bottom up, not having big ideas which are difficult to implement in practice, but really doing something that makes a difference. And we also want to continue with this trend now in this conference, get into the real life, understand what is happening outside of our Brussels bubble. So we have some people from academia and from business who have in different ways engaged with the Blue Generation project, who we will hear from in the next couple of minutes. So we have someone from the blue bioeconomy side, from the marine and yachting industry, and also from renewable energies, environment, and academia. So we will hear from those now in the next couple of minutes. We each have about 10 minutes and then some time for questions afterwards. So without further ado, our first speaker is Teresa Katumba from Portugal, who's an innovation technician at the Blue Bioeconomy Collab. So Teresa, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa, and I am here in representation of B2E Collab. And I want to thank you for the invitation for us to be here from Clube Intercultural Europeu, partner of the project. And let me start. So I will now share with you some thoughts about Blue and youth employment. But firstly, I would like to give you a snapshot of what B2E Collab is. We are a collab, and in Portugal there are several collabs across the different sectors. But all of them share a same purpose, a common purpose, that is to bring research and academia and industry together while creating social and economic value. And in our case, we are focused on the blue bioeconomy sector. Looking at our fields of action, they range from marine biotechnology, sustainable aquaculture, and living marine natural resources, always keeping in mind the connection between R&D, innovation, business, education, and economic and social value. We are a private non-profit association that is composed by several associates since private companies to universities, R&D centers. We also cooperate with one technology interface center and the Portuguese Sea Economy Cluster. Due to the nature of our action and also to the core activities of our associates, we are approaching the entire value chain of the field of the sector that we work with. So we work on feed and feed ingredient development, aquaculture production, transformation and valorization of aquaculture products to the final consumer. We also have a big action on co-product valorization from marine resources, but never losing the sight of R&D, technology development, networking, and education. But a part of our associates, we are invested on developing our innovation ecosystem And for that, we have been developing several partnerships, both national and internationally, with entities such as UNESCO, key opinion leaders, and the public sector. We offer a range of services that go across the whole innovation cycle. So within the ideation phase, we can do perhaps market intelligence studies. Within the materialization phase, we do funding services such as identification of funding opportunities, support on grant writing, and also we make project development and management. Within the impact creation phase, we also are invested in giving strategic advice on knowledge protection, valorization, and monetization of R&D results. And finally, in terms of competitive advantage stage, we offer several services from which I can highlight for the purpose of this presentation, the training services. So we develop tailored courses, technical workshops, and Blue Bio literacy actions. Now, when we deep dive on the paradigm of Blue Bioeconomy and Blue Education and Capacitation, we have several activities that have been developing that we want to further expand now. Here I share with you some examples of different approaches to these fields of education and capacitation. So starting from the first table, we are invested in developing a regional diagnosis in Portugal, where we are from, of the competencies that market needs and to which is willing to generate new job positions. And on that, we have been recently working with partners on assessing the market to understand current and anticipated skills and qualifications that are relevant to our sector, the Blue Bioeconomy. And some examples of needs that we found are related to digital transition that we were sharing this morning, aquaculture system specificities, data introduction in management softwares, and also basic computer skills. This work was done not to university profiles, but more to higher school profiles and technical ones. Also, in partnership with the educational institutions, technology centers, and companies, B2E Collab can host and co-direct master and PhD students. And as an example, we did that work with a master student recently that was developing an app for smartphones to help consumers to choose seafood sustainable products in the markets. Looking at our involvement in funded projects, among other areas, we share here two examples. Of course, we are engaged with BlueGeneration also, and this is a good example and the reason why we are here. But also we recently have been part of the community of practice of BioGov project in Portugal. And this partnership, this working group wants to identify bioeconomy education and skill needs to develop an inclusive framework for training and mentoring in different European regions. And the last example is our our partnership on a big Portuguese project that, among other activities, has ones related to technical training development, and we are responsible for the development of a course related to insect production to incorporate aquaculture diets. And finally, as I mentioned before, we have different services related to education and capacitation, like courses, workshops, and literacy actions. And I want to share with you the 2 examples of actions that we developed and launched online, but we also did field work at schools that are related to the demystification of aquaculture products, and also to the seafood consumption awareness. And finally, sorry, I don't know what I did, sorry. Oh no, sorry. Okay. The last one. Okay, sorry. So to end my presentation, I want to share with you what we can offer in terms of blue capacitation and jobs. A bit of like a sum up of what I said before. So we can offer integration in national and international innovation projects. We can be a valuable partner to drive new policies on blue education, capacitation, and employment. We can develop and participate in networking events and give you the opportunity to have access to blue bioeconomy experts that are part of our networks. And of course, through our portfolio of services that I already described before. So for further discussions, I invite you to talk to me after this presentation. And I will end my presentation sharing with you our contacts. I think there is something missed here because I lost my, it's really small, the website. I don't know, I think it was a problem this morning. But yes, in the end, I will share with you our contacts, and I want to thank you for your attention.
You can stay for a second, Teresa. Do we have any questions from the audience? Anything online, Christos? No, but I think I would like to say 2 things. If everyone has read what it says there at the top right-hand side, inspired by the ocean, driven by the market, powered by knowledge, I think that's really good. I think we should adapt that and steal that for the BlueGeneration project. That's really good. You mentioned a bit the different educational activities that you have, Teresa. Where do those people come from? Are they all from Portugal? Are they from the urban centers? Are they all within 10 kilometers from the sea? Where are they from? Sorry, microphone.
It depends on the activity, of course, but for example, the first example was our collaboration on the revision of the Portuguese catalog of competency of qualifications, and that was a national partnership because it's the Portuguese framework. In terms of master students, by now we are just engaging students from Portuguese organizations. But regarding the projects, there are international relations. Yes, they are international projects.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll leave that to the discussions over there. So, a question from Portugal to Portugal. Here.
I just wanted to ask you to expand a little bit more on the project of demystification of aquaculture. And maybe can you share why there is the need to demystify aquaculture? What's the problem there?
Yes. Sure. So we work with partners that make aquaculture production, and we still find that there is no consumer awareness of the quality of their products, and normally people makes a lot of questions when we talk about aquaculture products. So we found that literacy has to be done on that area, and we developed a big campaign that was already shared in different environments. We have it in Portuguese and in English also, but is related to the Portuguese and European markets. But yes, the reason is that people is not aware about the quality of that products, and we feel that aquaculture is a growing sector and needs to grow to feed population, because it's impossible to feed this growing population also with the wild fish. I think they are complementary activities. And yes, so we talk about the myths surrounding antibiotics, welfare, flavor, a lot of things. Yes. So I invite you to take a look to our website. We have our campaigns there. I would like to have the description in a bigger on the slide, but it's b2e.pt, the website. And I hope I answered to your question.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Teresa. Round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we already heard that Portugal is a powerhouse of a blue economy, and we have very good proof of that, because we go from Portugal again to Portugal, to George Costa, who's joining us online, I hope, who's a professor at ISEC. There he is. Hey, George, can you hear us?
Hi, again.
Very good.
Yes.
George Costa is a professor at ISEC in Lisbon, which is a university, and he's the coordinator of a degree in renewable energies and environment, and he will talk to us for the next 10 minutes about this. So, George, over to you.
Thank you. So good morning, everyone. I guess you'll be changing my slides, as I don't have any control over the slides, right? Okay, thank you. So thank you for the invitation to collaborate in this meeting. I have prepared a set of slides that will give an insight into the main career opportunities within the blue economy and sea related activities. So next slide, please. Yes, thank you. Europe has a long and deep attachment to the sea and all the related maritime activities. So I thought to start this communication by showing you the economic exclusive zone in the European countries. Most of the European countries have economic exclusive zones. Next slide, please. Although there are some European countries without connection to the sea, the total area of the European economic exclusive zone has almost 24 million square kilometers. So there is a lot of sea area to explore and a lot of career opportunities to be launched. Next slide, please. Maritime ecosystems provide many services that are critical to human activities. Services such as fish harvest, transportation, and energy and water production, just to name a few, and other services that include earth's temperature regulation, carbon sequestration, and wastewater treatment are very important to human activities. Next slide, please. So the structure and functioning of maritime ecosystems lead to ecological production of ecosystem services. Some of these goods, services, and cultural benefits directly impact human well-being, whereas others indirectly impact the welfare of humans through supporting or protecting valuable economic assets and production activities. Next slide. So in 2019, Europe's blue economy employed around 4.5 million people and generated around 184 billion euros in gross value added. This represents an increase of around 20% compared to the GVA in 2009. This translates of around 700 billion euros in volume business, so it's huge. Except for offshore wind energy production in 2020, all activities have suffered from COVID-19 pandemic, especially tourism activities. But I believe 2022 and 2023, the data will show us an increase in GVA compared to 2019 values. So next slide. This growth can only be well managed if there are trained staff in various areas of knowledge related to the sea. And currently, there are a wide range of higher education courses in Europe focusing on maritime ecosystem services, ranging from the traditional oceanography and marine biology courses to the more recent marine renewable energies or coastal and maritime tourism. Next slide, please. So most of the Europe's higher education institutions offer courses and degrees related to the sea and the blue economy. This is not meant to be an exhaustive list, but the next set of slides give us some examples of universities in Europe that offer degrees related to the sea and the maritime activities. So the next 3 slides are a list of universities. Thank you. So the next slide. And there are many jobs related to the sea and the blue economy. Again, this list is not intended to be exhaustive, but only to give some examples of jobs related to the sea, ranging from marine science technician to marine renewable energy engineers. And the next slide. So in an attempt to pick into the careers that will be created in this field, I used artificial intelligence and asked ChatGPT which future jobs would fit under the blue economy umbrella. As you can see, there are a lot of possibilities for working in the blue economy, and this is possible to say that the future is auspicious. Also, always be gentle with AI, because they told us that they don't have memory, but you never know. Next slide, please. So thank you for your attention, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or chat about energy and environmental related topics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. First of all, maybe a round of applause. Thank you. You can hear us, George?
Yes.
Perfect. So, well, thank you very much for your presentation. Very interesting to see, and what I like to see when we were looking at that list of universities, it included Brussels, it included Ghent, it included a lot of cities and universities which were far away from the ocean. And I think that's something which we didn't really discuss in the panel earlier, but it's not just about getting the sort of people living within 10 kilometers of the sea interested in the blue economy, but it's about getting everyone, even in landlocked countries, interested in the sea and the blue economy. Are there any questions here in the room to George? Anything online, Christos? No, then please. Over to you, Carla.
Hello, George. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
George, good morning. I have a question because I have the impression that ISEC is very interested in developing courses about blue economy. In fact, in the field of blue generation, we give some courses there to your students. But in terms of ISEC itself, how do you think you will develop this idea? Because I know that you had this idea, I don't know, maybe 1 year ago. And I would like to ask you, how is this internally in ISEC? Do you planning on developing courses in blue economy? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for your question. Yes, we are already working in the blue economy umbrella, using our degree in renewable energies and environment, because we have some part of the course related to maritime energy production and water energy production. So we are deeply involved in blue economy. But we also like to start a new degree in blue economy and all most of engineering part. I speak for myself, of course. Engineering part of the exploration of the sea.
Thank you very much, George. Any other questions right now? No, then, okay, you've kindly left your contact details here, George. So even if you're not in the room, we can contact you afterwards. So yeah. Thank you very much, George, for joining us from Lisbon. And I hope you can stay with us to watch a bit more of the conference. And then we look forward to meeting you next time in person. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we move on to the final speaker in this session. I love all of the presentations, but I have a slight favorite for that of Pedro, because he is from kind of my sector. So I'm very interested to see what Pedro has to say. So now we will hear from Pedro Suazi, who's the cluster manager at the Balearic Marine Cluster. So over to you, Pedro.
Sorry, just a minute. Do you know how to? Now, perfect. Hello, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Philip, for the introduction. Thank you very much also, CITIT, which is a Mallorquinian company, and I'm also from Mallorca, so thank you very much for the opportunity to be here with you and sharing what we are doing from the Balearic Marine Cluster, which is the organization that I represent. I would like to start my speech with one reflection that came from the high-level round table, and it's about how to do the, in my case, nautical industry or recreational boating industry more attractive for young people. And we talk about a lot of things, topics, which all of them are super interesting and 100% right. But I think one of the soft skills that we miss is the passion. I mean, everybody who is related with sea, which is related with blue economy, is because passion. It's everything about vocational. It's like medicine, I guess. Everybody who is a doctor is because they have vocation to be there. It's not about the money. It's not about the maybe timetable. It's about the vocation. So we need, or from the sector, we need to encourage people and to show people, young people, what we can offer in order to grow the passion of these kids to become, to be part of the nautical industry, as I say, in my area, which is one small area in the blue economy. Because for us, we talk about coastal tourism and shipbuilding and reparation. The rest is out of our scope, and I cannot talk about it, but we will try. First of all, I would like to introduce our organization. At this moment, we are 70, it says 73, but it's actually 75 companies we are quite new organization. We started in 2019 because our regional government cataloged our sector as a strategic sector for the Balearic Islands. So they encourage the main companies of the nautical industry in Balearics to join together in a format of cluster in order to develop different projects and let's say support the nautical industry growth in our area. So since 2019, we are increasing our number of associates. At this moment, we are 75. Altogether, we represent the 1.5 GDP in our island, so which is, I think, is quite important. And altogether, we have 1,500 employees. This is just 75 companies. In Mallorca, Ibiza, Formentera, Menorca, we have, in the different islands, we have much more companies which are not here represented. So it means that the nautical industry is much bigger than just the 1.5 GDPs in Balearic Island. At this moment, the distribution of the companies associated are most of them refit companies, which means reparation of recreational yachting or yachts. Then we have marinas, of course, and we have a lot of service companies. And then we have other type of companies, like, for example, startups or distribution, etc. Suppliers. We have a very good relation, and we work very close with the university, our regional university, the UIB, and also with the government, different general directions like training, industry, innovation, tourism, etc. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit faster. We have mainly 4 objectives in our cluster, which is to promote the innovation in the associated companies or in the nautical companies in the Balearic Island, and we try to do it collaborating together with the technological centers, university, all together with the different companies, because most of the innovating projects are in collaboration with companies. Then we have another objective, which is promote our islands as a nautical destination. 2 sides. We have tourism and refit destination, because our islands are very famous also to do the refit of the big yachts. Then we have I think is the main goal that we have at this moment, which is to improve the nautical training offer in the island. And I think all this conference is related with this objective, of course. And then in Resume, we work to increase the competitiveness of the companies in different ways, which is sustainability, digitalization, help them to create new services, new products, and altogether create an environment where the companies can develop themselves and grow, of course, collaborating together. How we do it? We do it, how we do it? We do it working in different work groups. I don't gonna tell everything, but we have a monthly meeting in every work group, and we have a Balearic Yacht Destination, which is the promotion work group. Then we have innovation, training and employment, which is the one I want to explain a little bit deeply. Then we have different sectorial tables like refit, marinas, and yacht agents. And of course, we are very focused also in the legal affairs. So every law, everything we change and affects the nautical industry, we are analyzing and trying to work together with the government and the companies in order to solve, if it's a problem, or if it's a possibility to be better or more competitive. So we try to do it. In our training and employment work group or table, this is our main goal. You see the 23.6 is the percentage of adult population between 25 and 34 years old, which has secondary training certificate. It is, in Spanish, we have cuarto de eso, which is the elementary school or secondary school. So the 30% is professional training, and the other one is just general training, which is the general school, no, that we have in Mallorca. Our objective is to transform this 27.7 below in more numbers here. So how we do it? We develop a strategic plan, and we work in 4 lines. The first one is to qualify employees that already has a very good experience in these areas, different areas, but they are not qualified. So we work with the ICUPIP, which is the Institute of Qualification in the Balearic Islands, to promote this qualification process in the employees of the company. So we bring together this institute and the companies associated on the cluster, or also nautical sector companies. But our mission here is just to be like a speaker to present the opportunities that this institute gives to the employees in Balearic Island. Then we have the second line of work or work stream, which is to promote the professional training center. They are public centers, and they are mostly focused in reparation and maintenance of boats. So what we do, we bring together companies and these institutes in order to offer young people the opportunity to study these areas, or also to do internships, etc. The second line is offer training courses. As a cluster, we organize different courses based in professional certificates, which are in all Europe recognized. And we are at this moment working in 4 projects, one in painting, one in carpentry, one in composites, which is fiberglass, carbon, everything related with composite materials. And then we have one altogether, which is it's not a level 1, it's not a level 2, sorry, it's a level 1, which is altogether related with electronics, rigging, and engines. And by the end, we try to be, or as you say before, we must to promote our industry in the young people. And how we do it? So we organize different conferences, open door sessions to visit the shipyard or visit a marina, etc., with young people, with the schools, and also we do it with the orientators, which are a figure or player very important, at least in the Balearic Island, who are in charge to guide these guys to different branches or families. So we try to explain what we have to these orientators, in order that they explain to these guys the opportunity that we can offer them. Now it's just a couple of images, etc. This is the workstream 1. I just put here, we have a platform which is Balearic Marine Hub. Our objective is to have all the nautical information together in one platform. So we have different points of view. We have the yachting guide. If you want to visit our islands and you don't know where to go, you can go to our yachting guide, and then you will see more than 280 caves and beaches that you can visit. You know how to anchor and not damaging the Posidonia, etc. Then we have the business catalog or directory in our web, and the most important thing is the job offer portals and the training program. And I'm pretty sure that now, because I'm quite new in this world, but I think we can collaborate with the job portal that you have, because as I said before, we have a lot of companies, so we have a lot of offers, job offers, that we can also use your platform to expand the effect of these offers and bring students or young people to the companies, which is very important. Then also we have the training. The second line that we are doing is just to promoting our public training centers. Here you can see the Centro Integrado Formación Profesional de Lambat, which is the newest training center. It's gonna be ready, completely ready. I mean, building, talking in September of this year, and at this moment they are teaching different professional certificates and professional trainings, but they are doing it in another building. And then we have the Centro del Mar, Centro de la Mar. It is in Menorca, and it is a part of the training center. It is the National Reference Center, which is in charge to analyze the training programs and to create the new ones. Then this is the training that from the cluster we offer. As you say, English is very, very important in this sector. It's very, very important, but it's not a barrier. It's something that we talk in the coffee time. Everything can be improved. So if you don't speak very good English at the beginning and you know that this is your weakness, then you have to work on it. But if you like to work in the sea or to work in the blue economy, the language must not be a barrier. No, we need, or we must to give them the opportunity to become part of the game and then train them to be able to speak English. Then you can see the picture of the first promotion of the painting program, which we do with the university. And yeah, we always organize a professional certificate plus 100 hours of English. And just to finish, then you can see here a picture of people from the sailing clubs and federation, and also the orientators of the SOIP visiting the astillero of STP, which is one of the shipyards that we have. Also, we have another shipyard called Astilleros de Mallorca, and all together is where all the refit industry happens in, at least in Palma. Of course, we have different refit industries in different parts of the island. And that's it. Thank you very much. If you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Pedro. And I think, well, number one, nice pictures. We all want to visit Mallorca now and work there, of course. I think what is quite interesting, it's really a best practice in how to kind of adopt the model of Blue Generation, going into schools and going really to the youth and talking to them. So really adopting this Blue Generation model and doing it in Mallorca with the Balearic Marine Cluster. So very interesting. Do we have some questions in the room to Pedro? No, then I have one short one. How do you showed us the list of the 4 courses you're doing. Are those the ones that your members are saying, this is what we need?
Yes.
So take the microphone.
Yeah, as I said in one of the first slides, we have a work group and we meet every month. We always, on Friday, we have always a meeting. So the first Friday is promoting, the second is training. So every month we are with the companies and know what they need or what they need or what they don't need. So what we do is to propose the kind of training program that we can offer, and then they evaluate if they want to do it or not. But I have to say that it's very difficult also to have the engagement, because sometimes companies, they know that they don't have qualified people, but it's difficult also to identify how to improve. So that's the figure of the cluster, to think about it and try to put on the table the solution, because sometimes the companies, they are so focused in the operational side and they are not, they don't have time enough to think about this. So that's why we are important in the game of the training and employment.
Yeah, I think that's important, because we mustn't forget, when we talk about blue economy, we talk about a lot of small companies, family businesses, 5 employees, some bigger, but a lot of small ones, and they don't have the time to think strategically about the future, where do we need training or so on. So that's why this is important. So Pedro, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we spent a couple of hours looking at a lot of pictures of young people being taught stuff and doing stuff and seeing stuff. And we don't want to leave it at that. We also want to hear from the young people. We wanted to have them come here to Brussels, but they actually are working, so that's why they couldn't come here to Brussels. But all of our partners, or a lot of our partners, basically put a couple of questions to some young people from across Europe who were involved in some way, also someone involved as a mentor, and then also another employer who actually hired someone from the Blue Generation project. So now we have a video of, I think, 4 or 5 minutes, where we'll have some young people who were involved in the project so that we can hear from them across Europe. So we can play that video.
Hi guys, my name is Alicia and I'm from Poland and I live in Gdynia, and in February with my friends from school we participate in the Blue organization trip called Intro to Shipping into the HelpMap organization. And right now I would like to answer some of your questions related to what I gained thanks to it. So the first one is what made me choose a career in a blue economy. So I always wanted to study and live by the sea, and at first I was not very interested in the blue economy. But later it turned out that there is a university in Gdynia that is related to blue economy and meets all my expectations, so I decided to choose that one. How did the Blue Generation project help me with finding my current job or education? So the Blue Generation project showed me that I have different options than those I have seen so far. It turned out that there is a lot of possibilities at the sea that I have never heard before. So thanks to this, I am planning to apply for a job in the port. What needs to change to get more young people involved? First of all, we need to talk loudly about all the possibilities we have. Few know how much possible job we can perform at the sea. It's like we are on the internet, but we don't get much of that content. And the second important thing is to give us a chance. Many companies, for example, related to maritime transport, are not willing to accept young people or students. That means people without long work experience. And many of us with a little help can be a great employers. Thank you guys again for this amazing opportunity, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!
My name is Marco and I am 17 years old and I do internships in the nautical company in Shore Marine. Because my family recommend me to do this training and I found these opportunities in the nautical sector, and now I'm doing vet training. Because in Baleares there are a lot of opportunities for young people in the sector and I want to be one of them. We need more companies involved to hire young people and provide more internships. The Blue Generation project gives me all the information about the blue economy, and we did personal mentoring.
Hello, my name is Radu Filip and I am one of the students that took part in the Blue Generation project. Our visit in Bulgaria was a great experience. We gained a lot of useful information and learned a lot about the blue economy. Also, we had the opportunity to improve our social skills. After the visit, I managed to create an image about the blue industry and about the careers that I can pursue in the future. It was a great project and it was very helpful for all students that were involved.
Hi there, my name is Luisa Barros, I'm 30 years old and I discovered the Blue Generation project back in 2019. From then on, I became a volunteer and I started mentoring several high school students who were a bit undecided about what they wanted to study and eventually work. So I introduced them to the blue economy area and the different sub-areas, which in my case is marine biology. It was a very rewarding experience to be able to mentor these young people, and I felt that somehow I made a difference. So thank you very much to the project for giving me this opportunity.
Hello everyone, I'm Fotis Amaxopoulos, founder and CEO of Overdrone, a company based in Athens, Greece. We offer drone security and inspection services. In the frame of Blue Generation, I was among the instructors at the Maritime Security Operator course. I taught young people interested in career in maritime transport the basic theory and the practical information about drones, the unmanned vehicle used to monitor sensitive areas of a ship and detect unusual activity or potential threats. One of the participants in the course was Belinda, who was studying automation engineering. Belinda was very passionate about her studies and eager to work with our company. I was pleased to offer her the opportunity to become a member of our team to practice an accurate professional experience in her field. I would like to thank Blue Generation for connecting us with the young people who wish to build a career in blue economy.
Thank you. Yes, I think that's worth a round of applause. Thank you very much. You know, this is the final conference of a project, but it's not the final day of a project, in fact. There's a lot more that we have going on in the next half year, a lot more that we want to do and will do. And one of the big things, and Celia will talk about this in more detail, is the Blue Generation Federation, which is kind of a continuation and the next step of this project. So for the final part, you can already start working, Celia. I will just talk until you're here. For the final part of the project, we will focus on this federation, and Celia will introduce it now. Thank you.
And I'll be short, don't worry. Okay. Good. The top one or which one?
Whatever you did it.
Okay. Yes. So I will just talk about the next steps. And as we mentioned a few times, we're not going to finish here. This project will go on to be a federation with hopefully a long-term future, which will carry on all the work. Just to give you a quick look into what the project did so far and where this is going to go. No, I'm useless with this. Yeah. Do I have to start it or do you start? Yeah, start the video, please. Yes, very short one. Oops. Can you go to the next slide before I start the video again? Perfect. Okay. So, yes. So from that, we want to carry on. We want to make this bigger. We want to make this wider, include more countries than just the member countries of our partners so far. And as we said before, we want to make it clear to paint a rainbow of opportunities of the blue economy and involve as many people as possible. You've seen the blueprint guide, which we gave out early on, which gives already sort of a guide of how to copy our work. And we're very pleased to see that our work has been already adapted and used in other areas. The aim is, as before, we want to inspire and facilitate for young people to choose careers in the blue economy. And for that, we want to combine all nautical sectors. Oh no, sorry, that one. All nautical sectors, plus new ones, for example, like ocean literacy or marine research will have to come into this as well. We want to start a membership organization. We are making the first steps now to set up the legal business. The federation will be based here in Brussels, will be an international federation, but it will be a membership organization, and we want to invite trade associations, marine clusters, like we've seen trade associations like the EBI or Sea Europe, companies, individual companies are welcome, big companies, small companies, institutions, but also the other side, the youth organizations, universities and training institutions. We want to be a hub where we come together, talk about the Blue career opportunities, what information is needed, and paint this picture all together. And yeah, just to give you a short overview of what we are planning to do. First of all, the association will certainly become the owner of all the tools the Blue Generation project has developed so far, from the job career platform, via all the courses we've done, the guides. We've got a MOOC, you might have seen that as well already, and all the video materials, the VR videos, everything will be there and will be further expanded later. We want to connect the industry and the youth. We want to give our members then personal insights about the needs. We want to give them a voice. We will give young people and companies and institutions direct mentoring, organize events, and work together with institutions and give policy recommendations based on what our members tell us, what is needed, and make the connection to Brussels, to the Commission, and other organizations, the EEA maybe again. We will also facilitate projects. If our members want to join together into a cooperation, want to do further projects, develop new activities, we will be the place to help guide them, consult them, and we will offer, and I need for over there the glasses, consultation, and we will unite the blue economy careers in Europe. That's the aim of the association. We will be open to any other support and ideas we get from our members, and hope we're going to be a very varied organization. I've picked up, for example, here already, we need to do some mapping for trainings across Europe. We've done it in the career guide for our members, our partner countries so far, but that has to go further. So any other initiatives, ideas, proposals, we would be very pleased to hear about. And that is just the general idea. Call it Blue Generation Europe, for example, and make it a long-lasting initiative. We have prepared a list of intent to join as a member, which I will put here, and would like to as many of you to come and sign up for it. You're not committing to anything yet. We will develop all the details of the federation now step by step and with everyone interested. And then, yeah, make hopefully at the end of the summer, before the end of the year, the step of setting up the federation to carry on the work.
Thank you, Silja. Thank you very much. You're not committing to anything, but we are taking a picture of you signing in front of this banner here, so it is official, basically.
Stay here.
Are there any questions to Silja before we move to the
Philip,
next?
I have a question.
Yes, Mike.
Silja, would you like to join me? I'd just like to say I'm Mike, and I am the business partner of Silja, and also her husband. And it's very much thanks to Silja that we're all here today, because over 5 years ago, she conceived and wrote and applied and formed the partnership of the Blue Generation Project and submitted it. And I'd just like all of you to join with me and say thanks very much, Silja.
Thank you. You're quite correct, Mike. We wouldn't be here without Silja. So you can sit down and lose the red tint. You've almost said the last words. It's very difficult to follow up on that, but I did want to say a few words at the end, kind of summarizing a bit what we discussed today, and a few sort of key messages that I took away, and maybe you as well. And I think it's one side of about continuing the project, and we heard from Sia now how to do this. It's about replicating, so extending what we've done, also working with other projects and other organizations, like we heard from CPMR, from Stavros earlier. And it's about the human capital. It's about the soft skills, so we have to improve this. But all of this can only work if we improve the working conditions and make the industry more attractive as a future opportunity to work in 30 years' time, in 40 years' time, and obviously keep it sustainable. And this only works if we have this bottom-up approach that we've tried to do as much as possible in the project, to work with the young people, to work with the employers, academia, to really have their direct knowledge on the ground. What do we need to do and what do we need to change? And that, I think, links back to what the European Commission and DG Mare is doing already very well, is making this a political priority, keeping this a political priority, doing even more so that in the future we will have a right workforce so that our industries can grow. That's important as well, can become more sustainable and be resilient for the future of our industries. And I would kind of combine what Pedro and what Teresa said. I think it's about igniting the passion in the sea and then getting inspired by the ocean, maybe also by inland waters. We didn't talk about that, but there's a lot of water where people work and are employed on in inland environments, but it's about getting inspired and being passionate. So with that, I would like to close. I would like to thank our tech team. Thank you very much. Our catering outside, you're not hearing my message, but also very much our speakers and everyone joining online. I think we had about 20 to 30 people online constantly. So even more people than here. So that's fantastic. So thank you very much to all of you, to our speakers, and that's worth a round of applause. Thank you. And then everyone else can go out for lunch. There's now an hour of lunch networking. If we could have all of the, and sign Sylvia's document. If I could have all of the speakers on, or let's say in front of the stage, that would be fantastic, because then we'll take one last picture of all of the speakers, and then you can finally have lunch and have a drink. Thank you.